One of the main points that I talk about in my speech is how freedom of speech has changed so much over the years. There's so many more capabilities, yet so many more restrictions than there ever could have been in the past. For example, social media. This didn't even exist in the past. Obviously, there couldn't be restrictions on something that didn't exist, but it does exist now, and there's so much to it. For example, I could post a picture of myself in a little bikini, and to me, that could be me showing off how proud I am of my body. And to some frat guy, that could be so sexy to him. But to, one of my grandparents, they would think that's disturbing to even be on Instagram. To somebody's mother, they might think, I would never want my daughter to see that or my son to see that, So everyone is going to interpret things differently. But the receiver is what's important based off of what we learned about the communication model in Professor Foltz's class. And also along the same lines of that, clothing. Everyone is going to interpret what you're wearing differently. For example, this shirt that I'm wearing now is a little bit inappropriate to some of you, but it's actually from a DJ, and it's funny because I was actually already wearing this, and I didn't even realize. But, so yeah, everyone can interpret this shirt differently. Some people will see it and realize that it's Alice in Wonderland who's a DJ, and it's an amazing shirt. Some people are going to see that and think that it's very disrespectful, which, is completely understandable because they don't understand what's behind it. But, yeah, I love that you can express yourself through whatever clothing, because I also actually make some of my own clothes, and I mean, that's just something that I'm not limited really by what I can wear. Obviously in somebody's business or in a school or whatever, I will have restrictions, and that's that. But for the most part, everyone's allowed to wear whatever they want. You can express yourself and express your creativity through your clothes. Another example of freedom of speech that I use every day is the freedom of assembly, which is one of the 5 basic principles of freedom of speech. And this is possible now because, one of the more specific points of freedom of assembly I want to talk about is joining groups, clubs, fraternities, sororities. I used to be in a sorority, and now I'm actually in a fraternity. I'm literally in a group of all men with 2 females. We're considered sweethearts, and women weren't even allowed to go to college previously. Now we're allowed to be part of an all men's fraternity, and where they literally look up to us. This never would have been possible so many years ago. And some people might look at this even differently. Some people might not have any. I think that it's trashy that there's girls that are only hanging out with guys and this and that, but that's just all how the receiver is going to interpret everything in the communication model. But yeah, this is how I kind of am looking at things, that it's just changed so much over, even just the past 100 years. And there are many, many other ways of expressing freedom of speech, other than just clothes, social media, and assembly, but these are the 3 main points that I talked about in my speech.